like that, and it's because of your
Really?
you're doing. Yeah.
Tell me more about what you mean and like what you feel about that, because
California is nothing like what you're used to, like in Scranton. You know, neighbors are all, you're pretty. You probably don't even have block walls between your houses there.
No. Definitely not. You might have might have a fence, so you definitely can see.
If you have a dog or something, you might have a fence, and that's how it was in Ohio. So people were, basically forced to, mingle and here you come to California, everybody's got their own property. You put a big block wall on it. You're staking out your claim, and it just kind of, to me, it always seemed that it kind of stopped the friendliness and the, you just, you wave and that's it. Putting on the jam gets everybody together, people that you've, probably lived next door to or in the neighborhood for me, the past 7 years, I've never seen before. And it kind of opens up, a path to, friendship and, which is a great thing, because it's you want to be able to count on your neighbors and at least know that, if you needed something or if something was bothering you, you could go and talk and get it straightened out. Or if you had a problem or if you had an emergency, you had a neighbor you could count on. It's huge.
I never thought about that implicit difference that having a block wall puts in. That's
we're all staking out our stuff.
Yeah. Are we required to have a wall?
That I'm not 100% sure.
That's an interesting thought, right?
Yeah.
I wonder what, not that I would do it, but what if I just decide I'm taking down my property dividing retaining walls?
That's funny, because I'm in the business and I don't even know that answer. If you have to, does it have to? To me, I always thought it was you're staking out. This is my land. This is my property. But it's funny, in Ohio.
If I didn't have to have a block wall, I would just put like a nice fence, something that's prettier.
Right.
The block wall seems so prison-like.
Right. The higher, make it higher. It's the last neighborhood I lived in, it was chain link because the properties are fairly large.
Yeah.
So you really, putting a block wall all the way around, this wasn't conducive, to the cost-wise.
Yeah.
So we, everything was basically chain link fence, but you still, the portions that you could see your neighbor's house were block. Once you got past that, it was chain link. But developers don't usually put in the block wall. It's usually the homeowners getting together with the neighbor, halving up and figuring out if they want to do block or wrought iron or chain link or wood. But I would wonder if it's, I would doubt that it's code. And again, where we came from, lots were pretty big. You had pretty big yards.
Right.
So it wouldn't be quite cost effective to, fence them all off.
I appreciate that that's interesting, what you said about the Smile Jam, just about bringing people together. That's
sure. Everybody, you look at it, it's growing. Everybody looks forward to it.
Yeah. That was the point, is to, kind of functionally break up the monotony of not having anything to do while you were on lockdown.
Sure.
But now it seems to have, I've been talking with my wife or some friends or even the people that come to play in the jam and stuff like that the last couple of weeks. I said, it's like the way I describe it, even when I'm letting people know about it, on a post or something like that on Nextdoor or whatever, I'd say I went from saying hey, I'm having this to, hey, the neighborhood is putting this on or presenting it,
right?
And the choice of words there is interesting that it changes in that way. Because it's a lot to do each week, but now I feel like it has its own inertia, and I'm just kind of along with it. It just happens to happen in my garage. So,
right.
But yeah, it's
And here's the other thing is we're all over there talking about, well, how long can this go? Because it's going to be a blow when winter comes,
right?
there's probably going to be a tougher time putting something like that together.
Right. Yeah. Like what happens the first time that it's a Friday and it's raining?
And it's raining.
Right.
Everybody's going to, detox.
Yeah.
It's going to like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Or maybe we'll have to do it in a way where it'll be online only, and it's the garage, and we're just playing in the garage, and everybody has to watch it online.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be a shame. Hopefully it can continue, but we understand that, at some point it's going to be a tougher thing to do until, the weather changes, and then we're all hoping that even after COVID, hopefully passes and it's a thing of the past.
Right.
It's a great Friday night.
That we still got something.
Yeah, it's a great Friday night get together.
Well, geez, that's really, and then, I've got to figure out something. I was talking with my wife, Zena, about it, and I was just like, shit, I spent a lot of years of my life, putting together musical acts, taking them on the road, trying to get signed to labels or getting signed, various levels of success with those kinds of things. And you work so hard to get things past the kind of like the level of, your obligatory friends coming to see you, and that's it. Like your 30 friends that will show up just because you're friends,
right.
And this has easily gone past that. Just kind of put the word out, and we started doing it, and people show up, and it's just become this thing. And I was just like, I didn't even try. I didn't try. It's effort. You
Sure.
got to do this each week. But I was like, I purposely left it off of Facebook. I purposely started by just posting it, not even only on like Nextdoor and just letting the neighbors know. But even when I first started posting on Nextdoor, I would only select the Sun Tree neighborhood, and that's it. Just like truncating the scope of the outreach to just this neighborhood, but it still just kind of
branched.
got its own mind,
Yeah.
And I've been around the block enough with trying to put musical stuff out there and how to gain popularity and gain some visibility with it to know that like this is a special thing,
Oh yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, they're thoroughly enjoying it.
Yeah,
and the guys that are in your band, it's great when they come. Throws a little different vibe.
Yeah,
kind of broadens the scope of music. And then some of the music that you're hitting, was it Friday you did Tom Jones?
Two Fridays ago. It's not unusual.
Yeah.
That was so fun.
Eclectic, yeah. And I love it because I love eclectic music. I'm all over the place.
Geez, back in July we did a Mills Brothers song.
Oh,
that's like my my grandparents' music.
Yeah.
And I think we did Moonglow. And I think we did Les and Mary Paul. We did How High the Moon. That's from the early 50s. I grew up with a lot of different kinds of music. I like pretty much all of it.
Right.
And
I think it's been great too. That's when your family's in town, they're joining in.
Yeah,
that's phenomenal.
Yeah. I've got two family members that live in Southern California. My oldest sibling, my brother Ron, he lives in Glendale. I guess technically Eagle Rock. And then my closest sibling to me, my brother Matthew, lives down in I guess it's El Segundo.
Oh,
yeah. And so they come up what they can. It's great.
Oh,
and they're both good guitar players.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Who was the last one that was here?
My brother Matt. He sang that like Thin Lizzy too.
Yeah. He's a funny guy.
He's a funny dude. Yeah. He's got a good sense of humor.
Great sense of humor.
Yeah, very, very dry.
Yeah.
Tongue in cheek.
I don't know if people were picking up on it as quick as I was picking up on it. Yeah.
He's very clever.
Yeah. And then you had your nephew, which was totally outside the box.
That's right. Well, yeah, you got a little bit of a connection to the cello too, right?
Sure.
Do you mind talking about your brother?
No, not at all. Love to.
Yeah. All right. Do you play music?
No.
Yeah. So how did music come into your household?
That's a good question. There's a lot of us as far as family, cousins and aunts and uncles, but only 3 of them were musicians. My brother was one, and One of my cousins was a singer and plays the piano, and I have another cousin who's a singer. But that's about it.
Do they live around here?
No, they live in Pennsylvania.
Back in Ohio. So is this Western PA, like Latrobe area, or
Pennsylvania? Pittsburgh, and then the majority of them are from Altoona and a place called Gallitzin.
Gallitzin? I don't know, but I know where Altoona is.
Yeah, it's Gallitzin's a little mountain town.
Yeah. Altoona, isn't that where there's a big nuclear power plant there? I think, isn't that on the way if you're going from like Harrisburg to Pittsburgh?
Yeah, gosh, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. I've driven through there definitely before. But keep on going.
Well, and so my brother, he started playing the piano when he was 7. And when we moved out here, he continued to, progress. He became a concert pianist, did perform several times, but I don't think he really liked that end of it as much as teaching. Mm-hmm. So he opened up a studio when he was 17, just to try it out, and it grew, and he became probably the most sought after piano teacher in probably Southern California.
Wow.
He founded the Thousand Oaks Philharmonic. Many of his students went on the Juilliard and some other prestigious music schools.
Wow.
One of his students that he had started him when I think he was 8. He's one of the foremost pianists in the world right now.
Wow.
And he's
he must have been a special educator.
Yeah, he was. He unfortunately passed away 3 years ago. And people to this day, still students and their parents, still go to his grave and put flowers. Wow. Still call my mom to make sure she's doing okay. That's just the kind of thing. When at his funeral, there were 700 people, standing room only.
Wow.
So he had a great effect on many people. He taught at Pepperdine and Northridge. And I still get people that when I run into them, tell me how he changed their lives. And their parents will say he not only changed their lives, he had a big influence on the whole family. He was a special guy.
Wow, that's great.
I was glad to have had him as a brother. It's that old saying, better to have had rather than to not have had. But at 61, it was just too early.
Yeah, it's too early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He used to always say, he'd always tell me, he goes, I got so much more to do. I got so many more things to accomplish. But I'm sure he's happy that the people lives that he touched are pushing forward, living their dreams, because that's what he wanted them all to do.
Yeah.
It's funny because Fran, my next door neighbor, when I moved in, her kids took lessons from my brother.
Really?
When she found out that, Ed was my brother, she couldn't believe it. She goes, oh my gosh, what a small world.
Yeah, no kidding.
And then her son, who had never met me, the first time he saw me after he knew my brother had passed away, walked up to me to tell me how he had a big effect on his life on the positive end. So it makes your heart feel good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But as far as me, I tried them all. I tried drums, guitar. What else did I try? I think I tried the tambourine. It just never.
Yeah.
I'd much rather sit and listen. Tried the piano, but it's just I was more into sports.
What did you play?
I played basketball.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What position?
I was a forward at the time. They number them now, but
yeah.
I was a forward. I played here at Newbury Park High School. In 75 was when I graduated. That's great. That's how I know Rob.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Rob played after I did, but, it's kind of a small family,
Yeah.
There's that old saying, once a Panther, always a Panther. And Rob and my buddy, I coached Rob after I graduated. The coach asked me to coach the team about 4 years afterward and during the summer, and that's when I met Rob.
Oh, wow.
And then my friend took over after that, and he and Rob became really, really close. In fact, he's the